Hello, guys. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us today in this week's episode. Lidet and I are going to be talking about taking breaks and listening to ourselves, to our bodies, how we're feeling, being able to just know when it is that we need to take a step back and just slow things down, maybe be more in the present moment without constantly being go, go, go. And that came up for us because Lidet and I are actually going to be taking a break from the podcast for a month, guys.
Temporarily.
Not for that long.
Yes.
But we're definitely listening to ourselves and taking a step back for a month. But before that, you guys always know we do love to just start our episode with a grounding exercise that Lidet's going to take us through.
Thanks, girl. So yeah, let's do some affirmations together because can't go wrong with some affirmations. And I kind of want to do some, I'm just going to wing it, y'all, but just some that have to do with like this theme of taking breaks, because I think it's so easy for us to get in our head and feel bad about taking a break when sometimes your body literally needs it and you come back better after taking a break anyways. So let's do some affirmations. If you want to close your eyes and put your hand over your heart, go for it. I'm going to do that, but I feel like it's always awkward because I put my microphone kind of where I want to place my hand, so it's okay. But close your eyes and let's just take a deep breath together really quickly. In and out. Okay. I am allowed to take breaks. It's safe for me to pause. It's okay for me to slow down. I love being in the present moment. It's okay to listen to my body. I love to slow down. There is beauty in this moment. There is beauty in this moment. And I'm just going to inhale all the good vibes here. And hold. Breathe out and have the biggest smile on your face. Okay. Woo. That was feels so good. Dude, I love affirmations.
Oh, and you actually started up your affirmations podcast, right?
Yes, girl.
So they want to be following up with Lidet's individual podcast in regards to affirmations.
Yeah, thanks for that plug-in. Yeah, so I have the Affirmation podcast. You can find it on Apple, Spotify. It's on YouTube too. And then I don't know, it's on a bunch of other stuff, but I don't pay attention because I use a website where you just post it once and it like posts everything else, whatever for you. So yeah, it's all about positive self-talk. And so if you're wanting something to listen to in the meantime, while me and Loud are taking this break, feel free to check that podcast out. We can link it. And yeah. Thanks, girl.
Of course. I just know that, sometimes I'm looking for specifically videos about affirmations on YouTube. And since you're doing it, for anyone that might be listening to, it's perfect because you're already doing them.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I love affirmations. They feel so good. I'm like, all right, today's going to be a great day. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, I've been kind of slacking with my affirmations, but I've been trying to do them again. So this is definitely very good for me to do. I feel like when you kind of get off doing affirmations and then you it can start feeling a little weird that I just need to push that weirdness and saying it out loud for me. Like for some reason, it's really easy for me to say them in my mind and in my head. And I'm like, girl, use your throat chakra, use your voice, say it out loud. I feel like it just powers up even more power and that reassurance that you believe it.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I feel like it like really is a throat chakra thing because it's like you can say, like, we have so many thoughts, right? Like I feel like a thought is like it's still safe because it's like you in your head, but then like when you say it out loud, it's almost like, oh shit, like am I really claiming this? Like, I feel like it adds a layer, like it does add a little bit of a layer of uncomfortability, but that's what's so cool about them though. It's like the more you do it, the more you're like, oh yeah, like this is true. Like this is my reality. And I feel like there's like layers to it, right? It's like you say it to yourself inside your head, and then like next step is like, all right, I'm gonna say it out loud. And it's like, ooh, this is a little scary. And then next step is like, I'm gonna look at myself in the mirror and say this out loud. And that's like, ooh, like that is like, that's where it's like, ooh,
Yeah,
like now I have to look at myself.
Yes, you're being very intimate and very intentional. And you know what I realized? There's actually people that don't like looking at themselves when saying these reassuring things to themselves. And I feel like that just comes to show how this dark energy is so strong that it will try to keep us in this place of where we can't even look at ourselves, who we are in this 3D world, and speak that love into us, but yet we can constantly be telling ourselves these negative things. Like I remember I had posted maybe a year ago, like a video of just how just looking at yourself in the mirror and saying these reaffirming things to yourself in regards to being in an anxious attachment style. And I remember a few people were like, no, that's so uncomfortable. I refuse to. I hate looking at it. Was just weird. Like this negative comments about something that I wouldn't even think that people would be that negative about. Literally looking at yourself in the mirror and then speaking that love into yourself.
Yeah, you know what I feel like? I think that at least in the beginning of like doing affirmation or even just looking at yourself, I almost feel like we think that we're gonna like we're facing our deep dark secrets. Like that's like how I've felt, especially in the beginning. Is like if I really look at myself, I'm gonna see all the things I don't want to see, and that's not even like looks. It's like past traumas, inner childhood wounds, like the little girl in me that's hurt. Like I feel like it's a reflection of like, or that it would be, and I think that can be uncomfortable for some people. I think it's just like a fear of seeing yourself for who you really are. But it's like, when you're beautiful, you know, you're a beautiful soul. Like, even if you have these like deep, dark demons, and it's okay to look at yourself, even if it's like a quick second. Like, I would say if you want to do mirror affirmations, just do 1 second. Just do like a quick, like, I love you, you're beautiful, and like go walk away, and then make it longer and longer each time.
It's so funny that you say that, because just that there's maybe we're afraid of seeing that true part of us that's really hurt. For example, sometimes what I like to do, I like to cry to myself in the mirror sometimes. Like I not all the time, but sometimes I cry and I run to the mirror. Okay. Not like that. But sometimes if I'm in the car, I like to put the little thing down. And I specifically just like to look into my eyes sometimes. I don't know. I feel like there's some sort of validation, like me with my own energy, like I'm here for you and I'm validating you. And no matter what the external world, no matter what the other person might think, like even if they can't see my point of view, like I can see my point of view and I'm validated. And girl, like when you said that little girl within you, like there was a time, the first time I did that, when I say like bawling, this was an intense energetic release. Like it was, when you start coughing and you're like, okay, I need to calm down a little bit or I might throw up. I started to cry more and more, because then as I was looking at myself in the eyes, I could see the pain. I could visually see the energy in my eyes, like how hurt I was. And it wasn't even just about that specific situation. I feel like I could see so clearly that little girl that was like, I just feel like people don't listen to me. And I feel like, my feelings aren't validated, or people think that my feelings they're silly. They're for no reason. And I remember just it extra making me emotional, and just that's when affirmations came through and me talking to that. It was so weird because I felt that energy so clearly by looking in my eyes. Like this, I saw such intense sadness. Like it was a little sad, but like in the most loving way, because then it allowed me that space to pour love into myself and be like, no, but your feelings do matter and they are coming up for a reason, and it's okay to feel them and it's safe to feel them. And it was just a very beautiful moment. Like I encourage you guys to even do that. I know that can be hard. Like it generally, like just looking at yourself in your eyes, because you are worthy and your feelings are coming up for a reason, and allow yourself to feel them and the full emotions that come up, and don't try to suppress them. Don't try to think that they're too much. Like fully indulge yourself in them and allow them to pass through you.
I love that. I feel like self-validation is like the biggest thing that you could give yourself. Like it's okay to have, like me and Laura, for example, like sometimes I'll vent to her and then like she'll either say something, and it's like, okay, like I know my feelings mean something, but it's also like like that's okay, right? Because these are people that you trust and you lean on. But like self-validation and just being able to tell yourself, no, like it's okay for me to feel this, and not necessarily need it from other people, I think is like the biggest thing that you can give yourself. And I do really feel like there's some things that you have to do in order to be able to like, because it's like almost a skill, like in order to learn that, like there's certain
Yeah.
things you have to do, whether it's facing like those inner childhood wounds or those demons, and like forgiving someone who maybe hurt you, but like there's certain things that I feel like kind of come along the way. um but it's interesting because I have not done, like I don't think I've ever, like, intentionally, like when I'm not having a good day and I'm crying, like go to look at myself in the mirror. So I'm like, I don't know. Now I'm kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna try that. And because the way that I've maybe done something a little bit similar is like look at pictures of like little me. Like I've sat with little me, like I'll have like a picture and I'll just like look at her and just, like if I'm having like not a great day and like you deserve better, like I promise I'm gonna do these things for us, like you are worthy, you are deserving, like I'll look at pictures of her and tell her that. But I think that yeah, like it's just like a different way of maybe like a similar approach. So
Yeah.
if you guys are like, I'm scared to look at myself, like find a picture, like that could be another way of you talking to like that little version of yourself, because they deserve to be, heard and seen and loved by you.
Yes, me too. Like, wait, where's my little baby picture? I literally had one of
Are you
my
looking?
recently, and I would also look at it and I would just, be like, oh, because I feel like it pulls a string in your heart when you see little you and you just see that,
Yeah.
that wholesomeness and that love that you just wanted, and just so pure, right? You not having these fears, not having these doubts, that I'm just like, oh, I am gonna do it for you. So I love that.
Yeah.
That's where's my picture? What
Yes,
happened to it?
y'all. Find a picture. That's
Yes,
the
do that
assignment. Either
activity.
find a picture or look at yourself in the mirror, either or, and say nice, loving things to like that little version of you. And even present you, because present
Yes.
you is like still just as loving and deserving. But I think it really helps to like understand the little version of ourselves and like what we have experienced, and how those things contribute to who we are now. But yeah. I feel like we went off tangent a little bit, but that's okay.
Detour,
This
detour.
needed to come out. Yeah, it was a detour. It needed to come out. But I think it still kind of ties in, because I feel like underneath like everything, as far as like being nice to yourself and saying affirmations and even like knowing when to take breaks, it's like all self-awareness. Like I feel like it all stems from having self-awareness of like,
Mhm.
okay, I need to be kinder to myself. I need to take a break. I have a lot going on. So where can I slow down? Like I think it's all just about knowing yourself. And I think that comes from like sitting with yourself too, and like either doing the meditation or the journal. Like there's just so many different modalities for like getting to like know yourself better and you sitting with you. And I feel like the more that you do that, the more that you can be like, you know what, no, this is like how I want to move forward, and this is what's the next best step for me. And not a shocker, because me and Lada are the same individual. But oh, it's something that I wanted to say too, is like, taking breaks doesn't always have to be like just because you're like busy or like you have too much going on or you're feeling burnout or stress. Like for me right now, like I don't really feel stressed. I feel like I'm working on different projects in my life, but they're all things that I love doing. But then that's where sometimes how do I say, like, I might not think that I'm burning out because I'm enjoying what I'm doing, but then it'll be like 2 or 3 months, and then there'll be a day where I'm just like, dude, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm tired. And then I end up not doing the thing that I love doing for like 2 months, 3 months. And then it's like, okay, so maybe for me, I need to be a little bit more mindful of like, okay, so just because I don't feel burnt out doesn't mean I'm not allowed to take a break. You can take a break whenever you want, whatever that is. And so I think just mindfulness of like, okay, I don't feel burnt out, but like, where can I still give myself a little bit of extra grace and let myself just relax and have a day off? Because all we have is this moment anyway, you know? So yeah, that's kind of what comes up for me with like breaks and stuff. It's just like, just take one, even if you don't feel like you need it, because for like your overall longevity, it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah. And especially living in an energy or a world where it's constantly like, what's the next thing you can achieve? What's the next project you can start? Being able to just, it doesn't have to be long breaks. It can be a week, a full day where maybe you just say, for today, I don't want to work on anything, but just being, I just maybe want to reconnect with nature. It doesn't have to be long breaks, short breaks. Having that fluidity and that flow of just what do I feel like I need in this moment. And I just must say, girl, when you were saying that, I feel like we just had a full circle moment when you just started with it's all about having self-awareness. Like we started this podcast, the Self-Awaken podcast,
Oh,
because we're awakening to these
yeah.
different realizations, just having more awareness of ourselves. And as you said, I'm like, I don't know, it's like a
Oh,
weird
that's
story, but
beautiful.
I'm like the last one of the season, you're kind of saying it's that again, being self-awakened is tuning into yourself and what feels good for me and not society, not what maybe everyone else around me is doing. And for everyone, it is going to be different why we're taking a break. Like for me, I I feel like I'm in a place where for a long time I was like making videos, like even before this, right? YouTube videos. And I kind of started to want to take a step back from just making all of these things and just pouring energy into myself. And even last year when I was very intentional with putting out videos, like I call myself out even though I don't like it, but I was doing it and look at me, I'm doing better after a breakup, and look at me, I'm glowing. Like that's not, and no wonder why it was my social medias didn't grow, because I was doing it in this need of look at me and I need this. It was still sort of validation because I wasn't getting in a relationship. So it was very interesting. And to just be like, hey, let me allow myself to just take a month where I'm not creating anything. If I want to post something, I will. But because I love doing this podcast. I love putting this time aside and just sitting down with Lidet and sharing with our two listeners that are consistently listening right now. Like, we love you. Shout out to
We
you.
do. We love you.
And I love this. And this is something I want to do, but because I was feeling in that way, like you said, I don't want to get to a point where then it's like something that I love to do, I don't want to do it, but because I didn't listen to the cues leading up to, hey, it's okay to take a break, express that if you're in a relationship, not a break, just friendships. It's like, hey, I need some space. It's okay to take space, guys. It's okay to recharge within your energy and not constantly being around other people because you're constantly putting that energy out to people. Like I feel like that's where I kind of am even this full weekend, where I'm like, I just want to pour energy into me. I don't really want to see anyone. I've just been going to gym this weekend doing me, and I needed that. Like my soul generally was like, girl, just don't hang out with no one, like a partner or friend, but then here I am and I love doing this. So
I love it. Oh my gosh, girl, I didn't even realize like that is totally a full circle moment. I was like, wait, because I think our first episode was literally on self-awareness. So I
yeah.
love that. And like, yeah, like that's 100% what this podcast is. Like, this means so much to me and Laura. Like, we love talking about what we're working through or like these realizations that we're having. And sometimes they might be like hard things that you have to do or like things that you don't maybe necessarily want to deal with, but it's like it's all about you at the end of the day. Like your inner work, your journey has nothing to do with anyone else but you, and it's like you have to do what you need for yourself at the end of the day. And it's not selfish, right? Because it's like happier you, better you is going to show up better for the world anyway. And yeah, I think that's so beautiful. And we deserve to take breaks. We're allowed to take breaks. And if you're someone who like I get so excited, like anytime I think of a new idea, it's just my personality. I've been like looking at my what is it, the human design chart a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more, and I'm a generator, and I've been like reading a little bit at a time, but I'm just like, this is literally me. Like I live off of like ideas and projects, and like I just get so excited. And it's like I also think I feed off of kind of like the energy around me in terms of like that it is fast paced. Like we live, I don't know where you all live, but like I just feel like being in the US especially, like I constantly, even online, like even when I'm online, like I just always feel this like fastness, and I think it rubs off on me. And then I feel like I don't know, it's something about feeling like I have to keep up with it. But then it's like, okay, this is where I have an area to like improve, right, in my life of like, okay, here's where we're going to be more intentional and more mindful. And that's why like I really appreciate me and Laura taking a break. And I'm even thinking about other things that I could slow down on right now in my life, because there's no need for me to like go that hard and that in. There's no need. Like at the end of the day, it's like there's only so many hours in a day. I feel like it's appropriate to have a certain amount for like your projects and your videos and your content and whatnot. But like you need like a little bit of time every day for yourself. Like I
Yeah.
feel like we're doing a disservice to ourselves if we're not giving ourselves some time to do nothing. And I granted, like I know that that's difficult for people who have who are parents, and maybe you go to school and you work and you have kids. Like it's maybe not realistic for you to have an hour to yourself every day, but even like 5 minutes, like I think that this is where everyone can kind of meet whatever need that they need to give themselves. But like even like 5 minutes of doing nothing, like I just think it goes a long way. And yeah, listen to your bodies, you know, and I think those answers are within, even if you don't feel stressed. Cause I know if I just, sorry, my bad, Lana. I was like, wait, I stopped and then I was like, oh, something came up. But I feel like even if I just close my eyes for 5 minutes, like I could sit there and be like, you know what, my body needs this today. It's just about, am I giving myself the time to like ask myself, what do you need today? And a lot of the time it's like, hey, just slow down.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, like it's even been like, even if I'm in the gym, all of a sudden, just like you said, listening to yourself, and I'll just start taking some deep breaths and be like, it's okay, I'm safe where I'm at. I'm at peace. I can relax. Cause sometimes I feel like even our nervous system, since we're constantly in go, 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 like I'll be working out, but then something within me just doesn't feel the peace that I want to feel. So then I've been starting to be intentional with taking those deep breaths at the gym and just like reminding myself, I'm good where I'm at.
Hold
It
on,
is
buddy.
okay.
Sorry,
Because
my
I
nephew.
think, no worries, girl. Because I think that when, what did you say right now? It gave me, and now I just had brain fart. I guess it wasn't meant to come out. It wasn't meant
I
to come
know.
out.
It'll come. It'll come.
Yeah, it'll come. It's fine. Just
My
being
nephew
able
just had to
to,
say hi.
that's what I was gonna say. That, we're constantly maybe wanting to work on how do we better ourselves? What's the next project? But all of these things that I feel like then our ego wants to attach itself to finding an identity, like this is me, but being able to outside of those things, am I at peace as well? If all of this got stripped away from me right now, am I at peace also with just sitting with myself and that peace within myself? So I think that that's why it's also so important to just take those 3 minutes, 5 minutes, like don't say, oh, I don't have time to do this. What does that look like for you? Is it just 1 minute to just before you go into work, just sit there, take some deep breaths and just pour that little attention into yourself that I'm going to have a great day today. How am I feeling and why am I feeling? What am I feeling within my body? Am I feeling a little tense here, a little tense in my stomach? What's going on? What's a reoccurring thought that's coming on to me up to me throughout the day? And why is it coming up? Why is it taking so much of my energy? Just really having that self-awareness to ourselves, to where it is that we're at. How is it that we can bring more peace within our day-to-day life?
Mm. Oh, girl, that's so perfectly said. I feel like the question that stems from what you just said for me to share with like who's listening is to just ask yourself, where can I slow down? Because it's just all about slowing down, right? If slowing down is you taking that 1 minute break before you go into work, then do that. Because I feel like the purpose here is like, instead of going from one thing to the next to the next to the next to the next, it's like where can we at least make smoother transitions throughout our day with what we're doing? Because slowing down doesn't have to be like completely not doing something, or it can be anything. And I feel like all of us can give ourselves 1 minute. Like if someone was like, I don't have a minute, I would really be like, I think that's your ego. With love. Okay. I think that's your ego. That's resistance, right? So it's like, if you're feeling like you don't even have a minute, like where's that resistance coming from, and why is it there? Because we all have 60 seconds. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And it goes a long way. Like, don't sleep on how effective a minute can be. Like, a minute can be all that you need, you know? Like, I felt the shift, when we did between like before doing our affirmations till after, like, I felt the shift. Like, I was like, oh, like, yeah, like, 60 seconds, y'all.
Yes, girl. Like it doesn't, like you said, that ego. It's like, no, I don't have time, but there's that resistance, right? And like you said, in your day-to-day life already, how can you slow down? It's maybe not even taking a big break, but those 1 minute increment breaks every day. Like, for example, I've been like making myself my little cup of coffee, and like as I'm making it, I'm just really feeling there and I'm grateful. And just really, I feel like tuning into the moment is just like all it is, and feeling that those good feelings instead of going on autopilot of just like sometimes when I'm in autopilot, I literally feel like a zombie just doing things. I go and my day goes by and I'm like, what the hell was I just doing all day? Like, what's the purpose of life? I feel like to just be here and experience the little things. And yes, romanticize your life, romanticize the crap out of you drinking your coffee, out of you going on a walk, out of you just doing your makeup. I've been enjoying doing my makeup, and I'm like, well, then enjoy it and be here and be present and slow down. I think that's the overall thing. Just slow down. Where can you slow down today? And drinking your coffee more intentionally, taking a deep breath, feeling the breeze. Where?
I love it. And I think that's a perfect place to end it, y'all. Slow down and enjoy your life and take your little breaks. and romanticize those breaks.
Yes.
Like I could just be out here pretending like I'm on the beach, close my eyes, and
Yes,
drinking my
girl.
matcha. Like that's romanticizing, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
be where you want to be in your mind.
Yes, be where you want to be and just having fun and making it magical. Because sometimes I'll just be, cooking dinner and I'm like, oh, I'm so lucky I get to do this. I'm blessed because we are, and you get to play some music and some people don't. And in whatever situation you is, make that romanticization in your specific scenario. But we will see you in a month. We're so excited to see where you will be in a month from now. We'll definitely catch up on that next episode. I'm going to be excited to see if you're slowing down as you're listening to this, where it is in your life that you slowed down for the next month, what that's going to look like.
Yes, we're excited to hear how everything goes for everyone. And it's going to be so nice too, because we'll be coming back on September 2nd. And so it's like, we'll have that on our Instagram too, but that's nice to me. Just thinking about like it being kind of like end of summer, approaching fall, and it just feels like new season, new chapters, like new themes in life. Like, yeah, I'm excited to see kind of what comes up. And yeah, we love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your summer.
Bye. Thank you guys for
listening. We love you. Yeah, thanks for listening. Bye. See you in season 2.